Hey, what's going on, Tyler?
What's up, Clark?
Hey, everybody. I've got a Tyler, good friend of mine, Tyler Stoner from Rephorm Restoration, just outside Little Rock in Conway, Arkansas. Just growing by leaps and bounds, right? So, we were on the phone. You called, you're in your truck. Clearly, I'm not in my truck. My truck's not as nice as yours. I got this. I see that sunroof over there, man. Um, we started to have a conversation, and I just said, hit me. I said, well, hold on a second. This sounds like it's going to be really, really good. Let's push pause on this conversation and let's record it, and then let's put it out there so the world can see it. I mean, I kind of know what you were going to talk about, but let's pick up. You gave me a call a minute ago, and let me know what you were excited about. What was that about?
Well, so I'll even take it a step back and say, you and I are part of the same social media groups and, influencer groups and all of that. And if you were to boil down our industry into like one theme of one gigantic pain point, it's getting paid for the work we did, right? And so you and I have worked together a lot on how can we adjust our entire business, right? Because it's not a collections problem always. A lot of times it's a sales problem and it's an onboarding problem. And, it starts from the beginning. It doesn't start from, hey, it's time to get paid. And we've done a lot of work on that, and it's really paid off. This client, we did this job last week. It was a pretty normal, just an appliance leak. It was like a $9,000 mitt, nothing crazy. And one of the things, so the due date was today. And we have net 10.
Okay, I was going to say, talk about the due date. That's magic.
We have net 10. We see net 30 all the time. And some of our, the people that we know, right? A lot of people are invoicing net 30. The adjuster on this job, actually, I thought that this blew my mind. He thought it was weird that I had a due date on my invoice, period. And he was literally like stuttering, saying,
actually on your invoice, you put a date on the invoice of when it's due, right? Yep. It's great.
Yeah. And there's actually, so our invoices, I think it's either 7 days or 10 days. They automatically actually get a late fee if they're past due. I think it's 10 days. So, but yeah, and that's all disclosed. And, the common theme of the industry is we're all so scared and worried that if we have those conversations in the beginning, that they're going to say, no, I talked to my adjuster, I need to call this person, or I'm not really comfortable. But it's like they have the same conversations when they hire a company to remodel a bathroom or whatever that looks like, right? And so here's the funny part. So today's the due date. The customer, also, I had one conversation period with this adjuster, and it was for him to just ask a clarifying question, which I'm more than happy to do. There's no argument. There's no, hey, why did you do this? There was none of that. There was, hey, here's what we did. Here's how we actually saved you guys some money. And by the way, that invoice is due like tomorrow. What are we going to do about it?
This is a big carrier, right? This is a big carrier.
Big carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the client was involved from the beginning and letting him know, like, hey, our due date is Thursday, net 10, as we talked about from day one. How are we going to make this happen? We do offer financing, and, the client was like, hey, man, I don't have a whole lot of money laying around. And what that caused him to do, but we had the conversation of why we need to get paid on time, just like any other company, because we have overhead, we have employees, we have insurance, we have all these things that have to be paid. And he was like, I get it. I asked the adjuster. Well, he asked me, why do we have a due date on our invoice? And I said, well, do you have a date that you get your paycheck on? And he was like, oh, it makes sense now. And so anyways, I can't show everything, but here's the check on the due date on time. And the funny thing is, when I was on the phone with the customer to let me know that the check was there, I was telling him how appreciative we were. Man, I'm really thankful. Thank you for staying on top of it, doing your part. He cut me off, not to be rude, but to say, no, thank you. I'm really appreciative. You guys showed up. You were professional. Thank you for being very forthright. That was his words. And thank you for helping me get this taken care of. Let me know where I need to leave a review or send me a link, and I'm ready to leave that good review for you. So I mean, what better of a scenario? Got paid by the due date in 10 days in full. This is not a partial check either. And the customer's thanking me and asking where to leave a review. So,
clearly they don't all go this smooth, but you know what? If your
sure.
process is standardized, and this is what you do all the time, you can expect predictable results, which means most of the time, if you've got the right customer and you do this exactly right, you're going to have predictable results. And I just say, it's not sometimes, it's not, hey, I forgot. This is what everybody needs to be training. And it doesn't need to be the owner. It should be your lead tech or your PM. I mean, everybody in the company should know this is the Serpro way, the Rephorm way, the whatever way. This is how it's done. There's really no excuses not to ever do it because the results are primarily going to turn out. You're going to have some, of course, but it's really great. I think we kind of get into the trenches and think that every customer is just a cheapskate and they want blah, blah, blah. They just want honesty. They just want to know. They don't want surprises like we don't, right? We hate surprises. So I think that's a great story, Tyler. And I know you don't have a ton of receivables. I know you're not a huge company yet. You're growing, but what you do have hurts. But it's not like you've got half of your year's revenue out there waiting for. Some people do. You do know that. I mean, I know some $2 million a year companies that have $600,000 to $800,000 sitting in AR, and what I'd like to say
at that point, are you a $2 million company though? Because you may get that money, you may not be.
Depends on how you do your accounting, right? So,
right. I think it's your I don't want to say collection system because again, it starts at onboarding the client, but it's just like company culture, right? You're either going to build one or you're going to have one by default. And a system when it comes to this is the same way. You're either going to build a system to create some sort of predictability or whatever, or you're going to have one by default, and that default is going to be what the carrier decides to do.
Right.
And we all know how that goes.
If you don't build one, they're going to give you one.
And a lot of people are like, man, a net 10 due date, that's pretty quick. Well, first of all, I think it's more than adequate. But second of all, whether it is or whether it isn't, if you give them a net 30, how long is it really going to take them, right? If you give them a net 15, if we can give them a net 10, and if, we're still flexible, right? If the customer's doing all they can and it goes out to net 15, but they're calling every day and they're doing their part, there can be some workarounds, right? There can be some flexibility as with anybody else. Now, it can't go on forever, but if we set it net 10, we're a lot more likely to get paid in
You're just backing up your discussion of urgency with every piece of thing we do is intentional, and that's as well. So, I mean, I don't think net 10 is impossible. Now, and here's what's going to happen. And I hope everybody watching this video, you're going to say, well, that's not how the way it's done. It's done because the insurance company has decided how it's done, but you don't work for the insurance company. And, you started out talking about this. Listen, guys, I'm a business coach, and all I do is you have a problem. You have to peel the onion back and find out the root cause, and you have to solve it. Tyler, you opened up and said most companies' biggest issue is cash flow. Yeah, on Thursdays it is, but on Monday we don't have any work coming in. So it's that balance of, and I've got a training that I've got called ACDC. The A is the account, your marketing. You're going to convert the leads. You're going to do the deliverable, which is the D, and then the C is collect. I mean, if you put too much emphasis on delivering the goods, you're not marketing, and then you finish the job and you're done. And then if you do all your time marketing, not enough delivering, you get a bad review. So, it just takes and really the owner needs to be in the coach's box looking down, not a player on the field.
It's the E-Myth, right? You're talking about it's the technician that's still trying to be a really great restorer. And that's very important. And even as an owner, if you're a big company, there needs to be a director of operations or an operations manager that's their focus on what's the deliverable of the product and our product is a service. So are we the best at delivering this experience or whatever? But that's only a small portion of running the business. And so we've got to be business owners that happen to do restoration, not restoration guys that figure everything else out.
Yeah, I think what you said was really important is a recap here is if you don't have a system, if you don't have a process, one will be given to you and it probably will not be beneficial to you. You're playing somebody else's game. So you're either a player in somebody else's chess match or you're playing your own game. And Listen, I'm an independent person by nature. I'm going to fight regulation. I'm just that guy. And I know you are too, but, I don't always get my way, but man, I'm not sure they're going to get me. They're going to catch me trying. So, well, listen, I really
get
appreciate
more often than the other way.
You do. You know, effort equals a lot. But so you got the check picked up. You got a good review. I think it was really interesting that, excuse me, the appliance installation people caused this problem, didn't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
And accepted responsibility for it.
Yeah. So maybe there's something there that maybe people should be contacting the appliance installation people. Say, listen, I know it's not ideal, but if it ever happens, we'll come over there and try to help you take care of it. Listen, it's still going to cost and you got to take care of it, but at least the customer will say, wow, you really went out of your way and found us a resource to do it. So there might be a really good connection there. Sure. But also I think I remembered you telling me that this appliance place said, oh, we just do this all the time and we seldom ever call somebody out. So they just leave it wet. So, so much for that. Yeah. But well, man, good story. Good to, listen, the wins rack up and we get pulled off of our game when we have a bad week or bad day, but this industry is pretty fun. It can be. Customers are usually thankful for what we do if we do our part right. And then sometimes we get really cash flow positive on this thing. So I appreciate you sharing this story. I think a lot of people will get a lot of aha moments out of it. And I was talking to someone this morning and I listen, I'm dragging my feet, but I need to create that customer onboarding. And you're already doing it, but that just needs to be simply simplified. It's not complicated. It really is. Probably when people take a course or learn about customer onboarding, it's probably all of a sudden like, oh, that's what we should be doing anyway. Yeah. It's not some new tool, but it's not just talking to them. It's your contracting and what you do and what you mean and what you say. It's actually everything you do that focuses towards, we need to be paid for what we've done. So this industry is hard enough. Well, man, appreciate it.
And they get it. They can't go to work without a paycheck either. So they're no stranger to. It's not something weird for them.
Does the insurance company require to be paid for their premiums on a certain day every month? They do. Well, how long can I wait? Can I wait 90 days to pay my premium? No, you get dropped.
Nope.
So they understand. Well, you just like to play, oh, dude. But anyway, brother, appreciate you. Thanks for sharing with us. And I think a lot of people will get some value out of it.
All right, bro. See you later.
Later, man.